about the temperature?
It's wet.
It's wet.
Yeah,
And
it's very moist.
My favorite number one thing about this whole trip for NYG will probably be during the mass events, learning how God uses broken people to make stronger and greater people, how he just uses them in many interesting ways, and just how he has so much love for us and how he always has a purpose for each and one of us.
I learned that God should be your number one and the relationship should be your number two because it makes a relationship better.
The number one thing that stood out to me this week was about how no matter how broken things feel or seem, that Jesus is always powerful enough to hold them together, and that's not my job, it's his job.
When my mind says I'm not good enough, God, you're enough for me. Yeah, I've decided I'm not giving up. 'Cause you won't.
My biggest takeaway from NYG this year was the fact that we can find God in any way. And we went to a session where we learned about like how you can find him in Marvel movies, and also the fact how big the community of God is.
I think it was the second night that we were together and in the mass event, and we talked about Jesus in the beginning and Jesus at the end, and we're kind of in the middle right now. And so it was just a really moving message about the hope that we have, right? The hope for Jesus at the end. And it was just such a great message, and I thought it was really moving. The other thing that I really noticed here in the youth and in the volunteers was just in all things, right? And I just saw Jesus in people, which was just so amazing. And I just saw the love of Jesus in our youth and in the volunteers. So I had a great time.
The main thing I want to remember from NYG is that instead of finding value from your relationships, you should base the foundation of your relationships on the value of Jesus.
It won't let go. I feel it breaking out like an echo. Your love is holding on and it won't let go. No, I feel it.
I would say the session that we did for the guys only, some of the stories that the speaker was telling was very inspirational to me and helped me connect with Jesus.
This year it was really cool because I feel like several times I prayed for the kids, or I prayed over some kind of trouble we were having, and I felt like pretty often God answered those prayers in pretty clear ways, and so it was just really cool and filled me with such joy that God would be so gracious as to answer.
Your love is holding on and it won't let go. I feel it breaking out like an echo. Your love is holding on and it won't let go. No, I feel it breaking.
The number one thing I want to remember was from our second mass event night, and in the sermon that they were saying how words like depression, anxiety, stress, stuff like that, loneliness are all middle words, which essentially means that they're not the end, and that's because Jesus died on the cross for us so we can live with him forever, which also means that death and sin are middle words, which I think is pretty cool.
And who's been your favorite chaperone? Who's been your favorite chaperone? Who's your favorite chaperone?
And who's your favorite leader?
Everyone.
Kristen.
Yeah!
Bill Yonker.
He's not even part of our group.
Crackers!
Ooh, you, Kristen. You're an amazing leader.
Yay!
Kristen kind of pressured me into the favorite leader thing, but ultimately, Patty's my favorite.
I don't want to answer that.
My favorite leader is Patty Ryland.
conspiracy. I'm my favorite leader.
And like I said, my favorite leader, Crackers.
His name is Steve.
It's Crackers!
I can't. I can't do it. I love you all equally.
Sorry.